Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Like we're okay again now?
Yeah. Nothing like a couple of technical issues.
I know.
Go live.
It's wonderful, isn't it? So, for anyone tuning in wondering what the hell we're on about, Matt's camera was having some fun and internet. And as we got into the 30-second mark, my internet decided to go nope and dropped me from the stream, and now I'm back. And I was back as Matt, but now I'm definitely back as Chris. So, Matt, how are we?
I'm very good, thank you, mate. I'm on holiday this week, so I'm having a week off.
Oh, yes, I saw you were doing some exploring, some hills, and
yes, you know, time with the family, spend some time out, and then getting the chores done that you never get a chance to do. Yes, yeah, absolutely, half term this week. So half term, Queen's Jubilee, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. The shorter week for everyone in the UK, at least.
Exactly. Oh, good. Yes, and it's been it's a nice chilled week compared to last week as well, because for anyone who hasn't been following my antics over on social media, I've been in this little conference called Microsoft Build over the past week, so it's been a little busy.
It was pretty spectacular, mate. Hats off to you. You maintained that energy for the whole day and a day and a half, in fact, and I don't know how you did that, because it was pretty brutal.
I can't speak for April, but I definitely slept most of Thursday. But lots of people, lots of time and energy went into the event. Lots of people, organised and just lots of work.
If anyone's seen your posts on social media, it's congratulations are in order.
It is as well, yeah. It's been busy in terms of news, things going on, yes. So, again, if anyone hasn't been looking at social media, I am leaving Microsoft in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I'll be moving over to GitHub. So, yes, exciting times, where I get to do the stuff I love, advocating, and going to be an enterprise advocate. So yes, exciting times.
And we're still going to keep doing this, though, aren't we? We're still going to,
of course,
crack up with this, because we've got a game to finish at some point.
At some point, that's the key part there. At some point, we don't know when.
Yeah,
we don't know what finished is.
We've got a game to start at some point.
This is fair, and I think we are. We're in a good place for that today, actually, because we were talking, weren't we, about the aim for today, and we've got some microservices, we've been able to build them, we got the CI/CD pipelines, we got a Docker image, I think, for definitely at least one. I can't remember if we replicated, but it shouldn't be too hard, he says.
Player decisions and player state, so they're both
yes, we did. Yes, because when we figured out the one, we were like, oh, this is now nice and simple.
Cookie cutter at that point, yep.
Yes. So now it's a case of taking that image, deploying it into something, and that something is going to be a service that happened to go GA last week as well.
Wonderful timing. It's a fantastic little service. I know you and I have been playing with it a little bit, and we've already talked a little bit about in previous sessions about things like Dapper and Container Apps is built on technologies like Dapper and Kada and Envoy.
Yep.
And yeah, they make some of this development really easy, really easy.
Well, I think we've even done some local... Yeah, we have done some local dev with it, haven't we, in the streams already? So, yeah, really, really simple.
Yeah, certainly on the Dapper side, yeah. Yeah, and I think actually there's not necessarily for tonight, but certainly for another night, there's actually scope to look at our world engine and the applying of the events on a scheduled basis.
Yes.
Might be a good place to start talking about Kada and things like scheduled triggers. I don't even know if you can do.
You can, cron-based. Yep. Can confirm. Can confirm. They are there.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to try as well at some point. So.
Good. I'm going to bring up my screen then. I think let's not go bicep for a moment. Let's just kind of go the or Terraform or Pulumi or whatever flavor of infra's code you like. Let's maybe just go through the portal a minute, just in case there are people watching, just so we can explain some of those concepts first, and then we can, again, maybe reuse something that we've already got.
I would think that might be a very good idea, yes.
Yeah, so let me jump across to the browser here.
I think for you and I, the one thing that's going to be a challenge tonight...
Just one?
Let's start with one. going to be we've used GitHub packages.
We have. Oh, I see where you're going with this. Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Neither you nor I have ever done that before. As in, how do we get those out of that?
Great learning experience. This is why we're going to go this way first.
Yep.
We planned this.
Yeah.
We have ended up in this situation.
Yeah, that's the more likely.
Right, what are we deploying first off? So we have got two different APIs. We've got player decisions and player state.
Yep.
So let's go player decisions, I guess. Decisions. How am I going to call this? So whilst I type this out here and we get the portal, there we go, the screen to load. Container apps is a very high level abstraction around Kubernetes, effectively. Think of it that way. So under the covers, when you start looking at things, you might see instances that look a little bit like pods if you've looked at Kubernetes before. You might see deployments which look a little bit like your instances as well. Yeah, that's probably a fair representation, the wrapper around. And then there's similarities to app services as well. So you can see on screen I'm creating this container apps environment. Think of it like an app service plan. And then in that you have multiple apps. So that's probably as much as I think we'd want to talk about right now. We're going to keep it simple. We're not going to go for any VNet integration, I think, for now.
No, it's an interesting one. But that's been something I've been playing with over the last week or so. And that's one of those places where the Kubernetes side starts to leak in a little bit.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Particularly because of what you see when you enable network support. You see a whole suite of addresses and a whole suite of reservations in your subnet.
Like Azure CNI, then I'm guessing.
Look remarkably like what you would get if you were using Azure CNI within AKS.
Which is, I guess you have to create your VNet up front then, in that sense, yeah. Because I was going to say, otherwise, not controlling that IP address space could be an interesting.
And I don't think right now. I don't think you can change it once it's deployed.
Interesting. Okay.
So you in the same way as Kubernetes. I mean, if you want an analogy to this, then look at AKS. So AKS, it used to be that the only way to add more IP addresses to a cluster, if you were running short of them, was to redeploy the cluster into a bigger subnet.
Yes.
Now that's changed now. But if you think container apps are still early on in that journey,
they are. Yeah.
So yeah.
Again, like we've said before, not anything against container apps at all. Completely opposite. I think we're both big fans, but it's the reality, isn't it, of just where it is in its life cycle at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll get there. I'm sure it will.
Right. Now for the fun bit. Let's figure this out.
We got there sooner than I was expecting us to.
Let's see. Was I doing decisions? I was doing decisions, okay.
So I'm assuming the login server is going to be the ghdr.io.
That would make some sense, wouldn't it? You know what?
Yeah, I'm just doing the same thing in the background.
There we go. That's what I'm after. Right. So we'll need a path, won't we? Pull in container images. Yeah, so I reckon it's the ghcr.io. The username will we even need? I remember us talking about this last time, actually, the username.
Yeah, I think so. In that case, then I don't know whether or not you're using. Okay, so it may be the password that you use is your PAT token at that point.
Indeed, yeah. But so I'm going to assume.
Is the username just username, or is it your? I don't know.
I don't think it matters because it's a PAT. I'm going to use my login for now anyway. What
Yeah.
I'm going to do on other screen, hopefully, there we go, good. I'm going to generate just a path token over here.
Yep.
Developer settings, personal access tokens. Yeah. And what was the permissions? Read packages. Write packages.
Well, we only need read.
I don't exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah. And delete packages. So yeah, we don't need. Just curious if it said you need any of those tools. So then, container apps.
The repo up, aren't I?
And then that goes in there. Image and the tag. You're going to pull all of that in. Of course, we wouldn't use latest in reality.
No.
And I think we did have an explicit.
Car on there, yeah. So if you click back,
maybe I deleted that one.
if you go back.
Oh no, that's both of them. Sorry, that's both of them, isn't it?
If you go back a page.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. In fact, the Docker port, the full command was there as well.
Oh, was it? My bad.
Yeah, you can just grab the whole thing.
So that's our image. Location tag is there. Got our login server.
Yeah. We don't need any command overrides.
Yep. Nope, no commands overrides needed. HTTP ingress we will need. And I can't remember what port. 6002 maybe? Oh.
Be in there. Which one we doing? Play decisions.
We didn't add it. Oh no, we did.
8080. Yeah.
Go. That's it. Of course, we would add tags, but I'm not creative enough for any tags right now.
So now I'm curious.
Yeah.
When you create this via the portal, how do you specify Dapper configuration?
So that's just came in, I believe, actually. As part of the UI when it went GA.
Right.
I spotted it when Tig and I did a demo for the Azure Container Apps for Azure Thames Valley. So let's see here. Yeah, so in fact I can show you one of my existing ones. There we go. This little Dapper menu item now. And then you can add your components over here. And it looks like it's a Dapper components at the Container Apps environment. And you add them in there then.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, so it's quite nice actually.
Does the secrets part support key vault yet? Do we know?
Good question. Let's jump back and take a look. Excuse me. No, it just looks like simple key values. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something being planned in terms of importing, but for now, just key value. Let's see. I assume we're still creating. Right, so it's created that container app environment, got the workspace created. So next up, it's gonna be
container app itself.
There we go. In the process. Well, it seemed to work.
Of course, one of the things that might be worth, I was going to suggest one thing that might be worth doing whilst you've got there is to grab the ARM template from it.
Yep, can do that.
And the only reason I suggest that is because I was going to wonder whether or not we try the bicep decompile, because I've never tried that before.
Why not? There we go. I'll download it ready for later.
Okay.
Okay, so in which case, let's go to the resource group. So, of course, right now, it's going to be in a crash loop at the moment, I suspect.
Yep.
Because of the...
configuration.
Exactly. So if we look at a log stream... scaled to 0 as well. Interesting. Containers...
What's interesting, what we don't know is whether or not it's actually pulled
the image. And that's kind of why I wanted to at least scale it to 1 a sec, just to see if it is pulling that image down for us or not. I mean, it seems to be, looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the config you gave it, so...
But I mean, I would have expected it to have failed on the first hurdle, not even deploy the container app.
Yeah.
If it can't authenticate to the registry. But assumptions, you know what they say.
They're a good thing and you should do more of them.
Not sure that's what they say. Let's see. Go to provision management. Yes, provisioning. So if it's now... actually, that makes sense. It's taken a while to provision here because...
it's got to go and fetch it.
Exactly. So it's now only just going to be pulling that image down and trying. How many minutes until we start getting worried?
Be fine. I don't remember what we're going to need in Dapper, actually. What do we need? It's the... what is it we need in Dapper? It's the state source, isn't it? Storage.
Yes. In fairness, I should have probably loaded that up on another screen already, shouldn't I? There we go. Done. Boom.
That's now provisioned, is it?
Let's see. Sorry, I moved the screen around just as I was trying to hide my Dapper config locally. Right, containers, provision management. Still provisioning. That makes me feel like maybe something's not quite working.
Yeah.
I would have expected to have seen something by now. I'm not seeing any logs, and in fairness, we just created it, so we might need to wait a few minutes. In the interim,
so should we have a look at what we need in terms of Dapper configuration?
Yes. I was just looking at my local Dapper config, and that's all for demos and other things, so that's not going to help me.
Let me see if I can find, because mine won't have don't think there's much in it. I can find it. It should be in components Dapper. There we go. So we didn't have a... No, I don't know what I've got in there now. They're not the right things.
Oh, actually, no, I've got player decisions. There we go. Right, I will go.
There should just be one, shouldn't there?
What do you mean, sorry?
There should just be a single storage account.
Yeah, I found the YAML file, so we're all good. It's a V1. Scope we want it to run under is not letting me to select that, so we'll leave that for now. Secrets, we will have the account key. Doesn't like capitals. Oh, wonderful. I thought I'd
you might want to do that off screen.
Doesn't matter, it's a long key.
That's bad anyway.
Right, metadata. So account name It's ToolUp Tuesday? Oh, really?
You got an extra space or something in there?
No. The problem is the capital. See how this goes. Because the spec wants a capital N. And table name.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Is that pointing at the storage account we've got in that?
Yeah, exactly. That all seems good. Let's hit add. Lovely.
What?
It's because I can't capitalize it.
That's an interesting challenge.
Think we'll be going to Bicep sooner than we thought.
Yeah. Did the thing pull through though?
Let's go have a look.
Because at least then we proved that point. Why did it fail?
See, what are you doing?
So
I mean, it's pulled the image.
Yeah, that was the great part.
It's the Zapper problem. There we go. It's the Zapper problem. Right, so in which case then, let me
disappear completely, apparently. Okay, let's bring my screen in. And then we can have a look at... Where are we? Are you back in?
I am. I was just going to go and pull up the Bicep.
So I've got the one that I did as an example a little while ago for the test that you and I were doing. So this would be... So one of the advantages of doing it this way is that I'm deploying the storage account at the same time, then grabbing the key from it, and then using that in the secret in the container app, which means I never need to know the secrets and they never need to be available on the screen.
Which is what we like.
Which is a great advantage. So let's go through and build. I think I'm just going to build this a little bit at a time. I'm going to move that one off the screen so I can just rejig myself a little bit.
I mean,
so where do we want to take this? Do we want an end folder in there?
Can do. I mean, something I'm equally happy to show is, just while you were talking there.
You're back unlisted as me again, apparently.
I don't think it shows on the screen anyway, so on the stream anyway.
Yep.
But yes, I ran the decompile in the background from the downloaded template earlier. It's actually pretty good. We got our container up, we got our managed environment, and we got our log analytics workspace.
Well, actually, that's worked very well. So shall we make the modification to put the storage account in there as well?
I think it makes sense, yeah.
And that's just an AZ bicep decompile, is it?
Yep.
Nice. Oh, I shall use that a bit more in the day job, I think. So
let's jump back to ToolUp Tuesday. We're going to have it as an end folder underneath player decisions? Or do we want it as a source at the level above?
Well, are we going to deploy each API independent? So the problem we've got is that there's going to be a high-level env, because that's going to be where the container environment is.
So in which case then, let's have an IAC on that level for now, because we can refactor when we get another microservice. Let's start somewhere. Template.bicep. Paste that in.
Put that in, yeah.
Right. So
why is it asking for subscription ID? That seems
that's
a bit
what I was just wondering.
ambitious.
Wasn't used anyway. Property kind does not exist. Fine, so we can get rid of that. It's not allowed. Okay, so we can get rid of that as well. And this is something I've always, I guess, been wary of, is that export from the portal, because it does give some extra data that you don't need when you're writing. It's more like internal state representation. But here we go.
And I think that goes back to the point about the tools are great, but if you need to understand the thing that it's generating.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so I'm just trying to get my head around what it's doing.
This container app.
Yeah. The only reason I was just wondering is because it's got a containers array here, so I was just trying to figure out what it's actually doing.
So those will be passed in as parameters.
So that's why it was so easy, because it
skipped all the important
it skipped the hard bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna say let's just reuse what we've got. Let's jump back over to your screen, Matt.
Okay. So I'll bring mine back in. We were going to do, so under player decisions, we were going to do
IAC.
IAC, and we're going to add one in there called template.bicep.
Yep.
And then we'll build this up a little bit at a time.
Sounds like a plan.
So the way I tend to do these is, if you look at the difference between the one that you had then and the way that I tend to work with this, is that it had given you a whole ton of parameters for everything that was there, right? Which is great, as long as you need to you want that infinite control over what each individual element is called.
Right.
What I tend to find, and actually what I see with a lot of the customers as well, is having some sort of prefix for an environment or prefix for a thing, and then everything else uses a convention underneath it. So if I need a storage account, it becomes prefix storage account. My container environment becomes prefix container.
And to add to your point, that infinite control bit, the way I also look at it is infinite ways of breaking things, because if I'm new to a project and I don't know what every single one of those parameters does, if I change one of those parameters and it either overwrites something else, breaks something, whatever, at least if you're minimizing that blast radius, then
absolutely,
you're helping everyone out, right? So
we're going to start with a prefix, which should be the only bit that we actually want to configure, and we want to give it a default, which we'll call
TUT. Yes, like it.
Now, one other gotcha that I like here as well is don't put anything that isn't alpha characters in it, because stuff like key vault, stuff like storage account will scream if you have anything other than lowercase characters in there.
They will. The
other one I like to put as well is the location.
Yep, and this one is a good practice to follow.
Okay, so now we can start declaring some local variable stuff. Oh, actually, the other one we're going to need.
Yes.
Thinking about it. Should we put this? Yeah. So the other one we're going to need is going to be a container app image.
Yes. Let me put that accessible for you.
I think I've got it here. Actually, I've got it here.
Ah, sweet.
Okay.
There you go. Nice.
The only one that is going to come a bit weird here is when we need to do the credentials for the container registry. But
Which we can do as a secure string.
And pass it in on the command line.
Yeah.
So if we do param
registries
password. Registry password. Is it secure string there?
I think so.
And that's not going to have a default.
That's it, exactly.
And then you can do secure, isn't it? There's a parameter on there as well.
I didn't know there was a parameter as well for it.
Yeah, I think there's because that then masks it in other places in there.
Oh.
I think. I might be making that up, so we might have to come back to that bit.
Hit the at. Okay. Secure.
At secure, that's the one I want.
Yeah. And then you can use it as a normal string type then because you've got the at secure above it.
So yeah, like that. And it can just be a string on it.
Exactly, that's it.
Aha, right, there we go.
And that's the equivalent of what would have been a secure string in the ARM template. JSON days, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to need a variable for our environment name. And that's going to be equal to, using the magic of string interpolation, my prefix dash environment. That sounds like funky Copilot.
Do we want to have an actual environment parameter as well, like a dev, a QA, a prod, etc.?
We could do. So we could do another param environment string equals dev. It's probably a bit overkill for now, but
yep, that works.
So you end up with something like that.
Exactly.
And then we are going to need. So hang on, let's set up the other bits we need. So our container registry is going to be equal to GitHub.
I'm going to be pedantic here, but the only reason I went down that thought process of dev QA prod was because of it being called environment name rather than container app environment name.
Okay. I like it. I would advise that for customers. For us,
let's get rid of it for now.
Get rid of it. Yep. And let's absolutely. I take on board what you're saying. So container app environment name.
Nice.
Like that. Better.
Yeah.
dhcr.io. Is that right?
GitHub CR container registry.
And then var container registry. That's what that should be as well. Registry login server username, and we just put that in as yours, wasn't it? I think.
Yep, Chris Reddington, exactly.
Okay, so we've got the password because that's being passed in.
Yep.
We're going to want a log analytics workspace.
We are.
Workspace resource ID, that'll do. Except for I want it to be prefix/workspace, even better.
I think I called it prefix-logs.
Okay.
Just for this one. Just for when we actually do redeploy it here.
And then we're using app insights, can't remember.
No, we are not.
No app insights on this one. Storage account.
Yes. That I just called ToolUp Tuesday.
Yes. So if we did prefix, so I just do prefix storage. So that'd be cut storage.
Yep.
Now,
because we can always use a different storage account.
Yeah. What's the character length on a storage
26?
Account? Is it? See, one of the other things I've done in the past is this little nugget. And that means that it scopes the resource group that you put it in.
Yeah,
which also hopefully guarantees us a unique name.
I mean, for now, I think we'd be okay anyway with TUT storage, hopefully. We can give it a go. We can see.
Well, what could go wrong? I
feel like that's the slogan for this for ToolUp Tuesday.
Yes, absolutely. Right, okay, so we are going to need our log analytics workspace. I just happen to have one there. Is that the right? In the one that example that you had, what was the date on that? The API
I shall tell you momentarily, call it.
The ones that I've got are quite old.
In fairness, it might be that they are. Right, log analytics workspace 2020-0801.
2020,
which I think is yeah, I think that's what you had. Yep.
So we're going to need one of those. We're going to need to create a storage account.
Nice.
And that will then use my storage account name, which will be that one, using all the defaults. Then we're going to create our environment. So our containers. So I'm sticking a comment now.
Nice.
Now, one of the things I like doing, and one of the things I was saying about us needing to potentially have a hierarchy of infrastructure as code.
Yep.
So like the environment and the log analytics.
Fully agree. I mean, for the purposes of this one, for now, we can keep it in one, but then we can show how we rip that apart then. But fully agree. And what is really nice, actually, about sorry to jump in. What's really nice about Bicep and how it all works now as well is you've got this concept of a bit like in Terraform, using an existing object.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was just about to head the same way.
There we go.
So actually, that's the thing I've got to be mindful of here, is because these are actually, I've copied and pasted these, and these are referencing something that I created earlier.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure I've got those in properly. Otherwise, that wouldn't have worked. So location.
Same with the storage account. Yep.
Same with the storage account. I thought there weren't enough parameters for that storage account.
Yeah, I was thinking it looks a little light.
So that's locally redundant storage, storage v2. That sounds about right, doesn't it?
And the only thing I spotted in the log analytics workspace is you've got tags and a tags parameter or variable.
Okay, yeah, we don't need that one. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Sometimes it's
nice.
useful to pass a parameter in as an array for the tags, but
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And you have it for container app environment there as well, actually. 943.
That one, yep. We've got our environment name. The log analytics workspace is configured. We're using this wonderful list keys, which then goes and grabs that shared key. So again, I don't need to worry about that.
And I'm assuming you've called that resource workspace above as well for the. Yep, sweet, cool.
Now, I'm using the App Insights instrumentation key here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that when we created it, I was not prompted in the portal, actually. That was something I noticed. We
can either do that or not do that. I don't mind, really.
I think let's remove it for now and see what
remove it?
Yep.
Because who needs to know what's going on?
But in fairness, the log analytics integration is really good.
Pretty good, yeah, I agree. Right, so that's that one. Then we need to do our Dapper configuration.
Yes, this is the fun part.
So we are going to need a resource which we should call player decision state.
Yeah, storage state. And I've just spotted in the chat there, Ashish has asked, which language are we using. So for the actual microservice itself, we're using Golang, and the infrastructure as code that we're writing here, we are using Bicep, which is a domain-specific language for Azure infrastructure as code. Thank you for joining us, Ashish.
Managed environment.
What was Copilot suggesting there?
I have no idea. Let's just gloss over that, shall we?
Yeah.
The 2022-01-01. Is that? Oh, is it preview still? Well, that's just suggested the whole thing. That's interesting, but it's wrong.
I'm going to take a look now. Ta-da.
Right then, so this is going to have a name. Oh, what was that storage state called? Is it just called player decisions?
Yes, yeah, player decisions.
Parent is going to be R.
And the latest API version, by the way, is 0301 without any preview.
0301, excellent. And then properties. Right, component type is binding .azure.storage key storage. Ooh, what's the binding?
No, it's not a binding, is it? It's
not a binding, it's a state.
It is. I'm just bringing it up. States.azure.table storage.
States.
State single.
Table storage.
Yep.
Okay, then.
Then you'll have a metadata property as an.
Yeah, we know what version it is. Is it version V1?
It is version V1. Yes.
Right, so then metadata.
Ooh, that's quite clever.
Oh, hang on.
It did it. It did it.
That was doing the thing. Yeah. That one.
Almost did it, in fairness. They're not keys, they're names.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, very nearly. Very nearly.
Table name was right, wasn't it? Storage. Is it storage account name or just
store account name? Just account name.
Just account name, lowercase a.
It is, yeah.
And then that is going to be my account name. Yep, that's right. And then table name, and I guess it's account key, isn't it, as well?
Yep.
But we need some secrets in there as well.
Indeed, we do.
I'm going to just lift that one straight out there. Do I need a scope? I don't think I do I?
Scopes are nice to have. So again, for anyone who's listening in, a scope effectively is saying which container apps can use that Dapper component. So therefore, if we were talking to say some kind of backend SQL database or storage that was only meant for a subset of our microservices, we can limit which ones can actually use that component.
Right, so that's going to get my key out of my storage account, and that's going to become a secret ref to that secret. I don't actually need that one, do I?
Now we need to have a variable for the storage account key ref, don't we? Or did you add that in when I was not looking?
There, and then there's the key, the account key. Yeah.
But no, if you look at line 76, the name, you've got storage account key ref, which is a.
No, that's the name of the secret that I'm going to reference later on.
Yeah, but do you need that to
so
be
I'm
defined?
finding a secret with. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely right. I do. Yeah.
Or to find it as a string.
Yeah. Just put it in there. Like that.
That's it. Nice.
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right there. So key ref. Let's go.
Pair programming.
Put it in 2 places. George account name is right. Okay, so
That
that should deploy up those.
So...
Off the container app then, don't we, I guess?
Yeah, the actual main thing.
Right, is that still on that? Is that on that 0301 version?
One moment, caller. Your call is important. Yep, same one.
Microsoft.app/container app.
The A in caps there is capital.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to name. Why is my IntelliSense not working? It's very annoying. Have I not defined one for my container app? No. My container app name, and that's going to be player. Oh, that'll do.
Looks good.
Be consistent.
It was. Oh, do we want to use a capital or no?
I don't know.
Nice. That's
So,
it. Location.
location on there. Yeah.
It's a TV program almost.
Although it would be very different if it was writing bicep on a wiki. Whatever an A30, whatever he's trying to work out what version of an API is.
Oh man, can you imagine? Oh dear.
Managed environment ID. ID. Okay, then configuration. Active revisions mode. Which is
I'd
quite
say
cool.
let's keep that
Right.
single.
Single. So what that means is that there's only ever the only thing that's ever active at any one point in time is the current latest or the most
Exactly
recent
that.
deployed, which is quite cool actually because it means you can do things like the kind of canary deploys and blue-green deploys potentially.
Yeah, and really, really simple to do canary deploys as well because you can easily shift the weighting just built into the service. Very, very cool.
It was 8080, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Okay, now registries.
Here's where the fun begins.
Yes. Server. That's right. Username in lowercase and then password.
Oh,
There.
that's interesting. I'm looking at the ARM template reference, and they now have a property for identity in that block as well.
Ooh.
And that was one of the things we looked up before and we saw was a limitation at that time. That
It
you
was.
couldn't use a managed identity.
To
But it
actually
says,
use managed identity to authenticate with Azure Container Registry.
so the description here, it says, is a managed identity to use to authenticate with Azure Container Registry. For user-assigned identities, use the full user-assigned identity resource ID. For system-assigned identities, use system. So,
Oh.
it would seem it would be possible. Or at least on its way.
Well, that's exciting. I'll put the password in a minute because I'm going to use a secret ref.
Nice.
So Dapper enabled is true.
Yep.
App port.
We don't need to put that one. I think that's
What do we?
optional.
I need to specify an app ID, don't I?
You do, which we will use. Play it. That's it. Thank you, Copilot.
Yeah.
How does it feel having two pair programmers with you?
One of them slightly less annoying than the other.
And dear viewers, we will let you find out who that is.
Oh dear. Right. Name. So we're going to have that, and I'm going to define something called container registry password ref, and then that is going to be defined as my container registry password.
Nice.
So that's going to happen there. English password ref.
And the reason why we're doing this, by the way, for anyone who's wondering why you're putting variables in for names of things, it's if you need to keep reusing the same variable name throughout. It just means, good programming practices. You only change it once rather than multiple times. It's just a nice little pattern to follow.
Okay, so that's the configuration. I think that's right. Yep. So now we need to define the template.
Yeah, that's probably an important part.
I think that will help. Containers. Image, and that is going to be my container app image.
That looks good.
Name? What's the point?
For the name of the individual container. So remember, we could have multiple containers, like the sidecar kind of idea.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then last but not least is the scale. And then all we really need here is the min replicas, don't we? Min replicas is 1, max replicas is...
May as well put max as 1 as well, just for now, predictability.
Yep. And that should do it.
Seems like it's a good starter.
Yeah, let's see what Bicep says when I try to do something with it. CDSRC, CD... Player decision, CDIC, AZ, Bicep, build, file, template.bicep. Oh, I'm out of date. The name, workplace name. Oh, I must have missed one.
Log.
I've missed some variables. So workspace name, because I didn't give it a, because I did that instead. I'm going to change that now. So my org analytics workspace name.
There were a few places that workspace name was referenced, I think. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. Nope. Bicep works differently. Ignore me.
Environment name, which we called it container app environment name. Somebody maybe change it. Does not have touch available. I've got some commas in there. I've fallen back to old habits again, putting commas.
Using JSON, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There's at least one there.
I keep doing that as well when I'm writing Bicep.
Upgrade.
Nice.
Right, okay. That's good. So, are we deploying that to yours or to mine?
We could do it to yours because it's all templated.
Yes.
Let me share with you my path. If you maybe want to do that off screen, because when you paste in the path, it will be.
I will absolutely do that.
If I can find where the path was. You know what? I'm going to regenerate my pat.
Right, so let's go and find I need to create a new resource group.
Regenerate.
Any preferences to region?
Nope, none at all.
I'm doing East US at the moment just because I like
time zone. Yeah. I've just posted in the chat there for you as well.
Okay. I'm going to create my resource group. We're going to do that off screen, and then we'll deploy everything up. So I'm going to do an AZ Bicep deploy. We'll find it. What have I done with it? I've lost it. There we go. So let's just double check that I've got everything in place. AZ shows I'm deploying to the right thing. Yep. AZ group. Oh, hang on. Which way around is it? This is why I don't go on holiday.
AZ deploy.
Group create.
Yes.
There we go. Bicep. G. What do I call it? Just called it ToolUp Tuesday. We should be able to see when things start deploying into there.
And obviously what's going to happen is it's going to work flawlessly first time.
Yeah, of course. Right, so that's going to prompt me for something. Oh, I've made a mistake somewhere. Container registry username. Now whinging about post it wrong. There we go. Right, that's the one you pasted in there. I'm definitely doing that one off screen. Right, that's now started to deploy. We should see.
I'm just thinking in the container app, like the container registry bit, did it ask us anything about the login server at all?
Yeah, so there's a
oh yeah, there is server. Yeah, I missed it.
Definition for registries on there, and it has server username, password, secret ref.
Nice, nice.
Well, that's promising. That's
I know that's a lot of things that got created.
there's two things deployed. Here comes the environment.
And it just shows the power as well of using infrastructure as code, right? Like we're using your subscription right here.
Yep.
Could have been using my own subscription, but
yep,
just the power of being able to go, there you go, all done.
Yeah, and actually that comes back to your comment earlier about having a distinguisher between dev environments and prod environments. It's like at that point then you change that environment name, and all of a sudden you now have a completely identical version deployed somewhere else.
Yep. And
it's super, and I see it with customers looking at it from a point of view of DR and high availability. You know, I know it's just failed. You know, if your high availability plan is, well, we'll just redeploy it somewhere else, that's a perfectly valid strategy.
Yeah, but it's like anything, right? There's a trade-off. Yes, there's lower cost as a result, but then you're relying on the fact there's capacity and everything else, and
I'm just going to do that off screen.
You're quick enough to deploy. Yes. So if it's the container app that failed, I'm suspecting it's all.
I need to try it again. I wasn't sure when I ran it whether or not it had actually pasted in the path tokens properly. And I think.
What did the error say, just out of curiosity?
Invalid. So.
Okay.
So it's access to requested resources is denied.
Yeah, so it's the authentication, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't tell whether or not, because it's a secure string, it doesn't actually show you whether or not it's pasted it in properly.
And that is just what I was thinking. Is there some weirdness going to happen there, actually? We'll soon find out.
Yeah. I mean, failing that, I'll add it as a parameter to the...
Yeah.
Then I definitely can't show it on screen. So if anyone, out of interest, if anyone's wondering why all of these little fields down here are all blurred out, there's a wonderful utility that's available called AZ Mask.
I can't remember who made it, but it's made by someone in the community. Yeah.
And it's great for streaming. It just hides all of the...
Yep.
all your GUIDs.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, it hasn't. I'm just going to try and quickly add this as a parameter off screen.
I didn't like it again.
No.
Just gonna double. Yeah, let me know if there's any issues again, and I can always regenerate it again if needed.
No, I think we're good. I think it's there you go. It's deployed. Well, the integration is deployed. There's the container outgoing. It's created. Ooh.
So that implies then something's happening with the token when you use the secure string. Or we were pasting it in wrong.
I don't think it was pasting in right, to be honest. So Dapper components on my environment. I've got player decisions that's pointing at my state table storage. I'm just going to open that very quickly off screen just in case it has that password in it.
It will. And I think it was plain text as well from memory.
Oh, wow. I can tell you this now. That's never a good sign.
Oh. That looks like some kind of strange UI issue there.
Yeah, I'm just going to refresh my page and see whether or not it's actually just a browser thing. Nope, that definitely doesn't look right. Right, okay, so my container's now appearing, which it wasn't a minute ago.
Yeah. Easiest way will be to look at the logs, I think, won't it?
Yeah.
Provisioning. Which is understandable. First time pulling the image, so...
Yep.
Which is interesting, because I don't think it was the biggest of images. But what it's got me thinking about is actually, you know, we haven't got the container registry co-located with the container app.
Yeah.
So the delay we're probably seeing is because A, they're not co-located, and B, you know, wherever you're going then.
But even then, like, I mean, you would expect, I don't know, would I expect the GitHub packages to have CDN?
Pass.
Close to point of presence? I mean, because I would assume Docker.io would.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find the size of it here. Digest.
Failed.
Huh.
Okay. We failed because...
It might take a few minutes.
Seconds for that data to come through.
Yeah, because the tables aren't even there yet, so we haven't got the first batch of data in yet.
Yeah. All details were right. No, nothing there yet. Did we get anything on the stream?
Ah.
Well, no, because it failed to provision it, so. Ah, that's interesting. Why is that set to?
That's what I was just wondering.
Because we should have one there.
It's at the higher level there. Top tab. That's it.
Now, I definitely have a scale.
You did.
Does that change? Does that definition change?
No, I was following along what you were typing and it was right.
And it's parallel to... Let me just double check. in my old one.
So scale should be at the same
I've got it
level.
in the wrong level.
You didn't
I've got
put
it
it
outside the template level. It should be inside. Well, this is going to be an interesting test now.
It should be inside the
Inside template.
Yes. Yeah, I was just trying to look in the docs, trying to work indentation on a HTML page. Yes.
That's why you have IntelliSense.
Yeah, not in a web browser.
Although, saying that, the Edge is getting really good now at having some sort of like autocomplete on what you're typing.
Yes, it
which
is
is slightly
actually,
unnerving now. So scale. No, that's
there we go.
1-to-1. Right, okay. Provision management, provisioning.
Which again also makes sense why we weren't seeing logs, and we saw the same earlier because we did have it at 0 to begin with.
Yeah. So it's enabled, it has the thing there for that. I wonder if my Dapper configuration has corrected itself now. Nope. There's something I've done in that Dapper configuration that is not right.
Let me have a look here. So Dapper, the managed environments.
Console a minute. I can bring that in. So that's the state I have.
Okay, so Dapper components 2022-0301. Name is a string. Parent of resource symbolic name. Properties. Yeah. You've got component type. State.azure.table storage. Version v1. You've got metadata. Then you've got name. Account value. Do you need?
Because of this uppercase thing again, is it?
No. Do you need commas between your elements? I can't remember in a bicep.
No. No. No, you don't.
Cool. Nothing jumps out. In all honesty, that looks.
The only thing I
reasonable.
can think of is the same thing that you saw as a problem when you do it through the portal.
But then there's a bigger problem there. So out of curiosity, try renaming them to lowercase. That's the easiest test. Same with table name below as well, by the way. Yeah.
Did that actually ever? I'm assuming that failed again. Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I'm going to look at our environment. That's our Dapper components. Yeah, they definitely need to be uppercase, don't they? I'm just looking at the Dapper docs.
Yep. Yeah, the spec is very clear.
Let me go to just deploy. Down.
I think it's a red herring, personally.
I think you might be right. I'll set it back to where it was. We need to get some logs through on these deployment failures, don't we?
There we go. If you just get rid of the where clause, that's it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, those are very helpful. It's all the actual messages.
It should be in there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Component loaded. Right, so component loaded player decisions was loaded.
Failed to read from bindings. App channel not initialized.
Where you see, oh yeah, I got you. FID. Well, which way is time going?
Oh, state store is not configured. Oh, if you just scroll up a little bit. Why did I see that? State store is not configured. Just a bit down there.
That one. Okay, the clients for services with hosted access will continue. But it does look like a bit earlier on that it's saying that it was.
Yeah. Just struggling to read that a little bit.
You and me both. Let's go. What timeline is that going forward in time? Was a scroll down?
Yeah. If you just click on that time generated, because I don't think it defaults in this view for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, so at the bottom is the oldest one.
Oh, it is, okay. No, newest.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Sorry, that was what I meant.
The opposite oldest.
Yeah. Told you, I've been on holiday this week, mate. The code brain is switched off for a few days.
I'm with you. That'll be me from Wednesday. Let's see.
So
stop initializing our endpoints, fine.
I think it's ready. The implication there is that that's sitting there waiting on that.
Yeah. If you go back and take a look at it.
Then open up another one. Let's leave that one open.
Could have just been a random UI issue where it said failed.
Version management. No, that's definitely saying.
If you go to Logstream now, what's Logstream telling us?
Because there's nothing there.
Nothing healthy anyway, yeah. Let's think. So jump back to the logs again there, Matt.
The logs, yeah.
If you just zoom in a little bit for us, just because it's a little... Yeah, thank you. Oh, that's better. So if you just scroll up, let's just find the first failure that we see. Because it seems like we're looping, because if you look there just a bit further down...
Yeah. It's still repeating the same things.
It's crash loop somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. I can't see any evidence of...
Oh. Which, if you go back to that first column again and just click that column header, because I have seen some strangeness before with the sorting.
So that's normal.
But all of them are pretty much the same timestamp, aren't they? So we're probably reading them out of order. So if you look at the that timestamp _D.
That one there.
Yeah.
Is that going?
I think that's going up again now.
Yeah. So if I did it the other way around, newest on the top. Oh, yeah.
There we go. Right.
No, it's about the same.
So why would it be in a crash loop? Not giving us anything.
There you go. Shutting down all components. App panel not initialized. Did you make sure to configure an app port? Which is the bit I took out, actually.
Yeah, I would have assumed there was a default, but let's do it.
5,000.
The default app port is 3500.
Is that right? Let me just check what I had before. In my previous example. Yeah, I've got mine just set to 5,000, but I'm not sure that's right. So you reckon that should be right then, that one there?
Yep, give that a go.
Okay, let's run that again. And that's the port that Dapper uses to communicate with our...
hold on. Jump back to your config again. Sorry.
Hang on a minute, it needs to... I just need it to quickly fail because it's got the credentials in there. At the moment, but I can hide them like that. There we go.
So, just show that. Right, so app ports. See, in the Dapper config, the -- app port flag is the port your application is listing on.
Yeah.
Now let's just check cross-reference it with the ARM.
So the previous example that I've done, that matches my target port.
Okay, so let's do that then. Let's put that as 8080. That's what I would have expected. Sorry. Too many different ports.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that I do find trips me up every time. It's all of these different ports.
Let's try this again.
The beauty is once we've done this one, the next one should be nice and easy.
Yeah. With our, because one of the things we could also look at next time is using the new federated identity in an action. Because right now we're assuming it's the same, it's a manual deployment to do this.
Yep.
There's no reason we shouldn't have that in a GitHub action.
Agreed, fully. Which depends on us refactoring to have those infrastructures code, like you were saying in the beginning, around the different scopes almost. But yeah, fully agree. Fully agree.
You just raised an interesting question about the things like the Dapper components. Where do they live? Because if the Dapper components are tied to an application, but deployed to the environment, do they? No, particularly if you think about this as a microservice architecture, if you've got multiple teams deploying to container apps,
you need to give them all the contributor level or whatever permission is needed.
Or do you have a centralized team that's managing Dapper components?
I'm not sure I have the answer to that.
No, me neither. Interesting one, though.
It's a good thought, though.
Okay, I think that should be done. Yep. So if we now go back to our environment, see if that one is. No,
Yes, I think there's just some strangeness there.
I think so.
Do me a favor. Can you just go to the link I'm going to type in the chat instead?
Yeah.
There's a deliberate reason I'm asking you to go to that one rather than
yeah.
one.
Yeah. I just need to do that in this window. Do I need a different browser window for that?
Nope, should be fine.
Bear with. What? That's new.
I can see what's happening. I'll message you.
Okay. Now I'm signing in. I think it ends up doing a read. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Right. We'll not worry about that for a minute.
Yeah.
That creates an additional set of headaches.
Yeah, exactly.
Get rid of that. And we wanted it on that one. There's my logs. There we go. Still stuck in that loop, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you want to check it in? And I can try run it on my side as well.
Yeah.
Give you some break from screen sharing.
Decisions. I've gone straight to the main branch because
Who cares about? Yeah, who cares about?
Although
branching?
we did put those filters in, didn't we? The path filters, so it shouldn't have picked up the build. Yes, we
True.
did. Although one of them is under spacebar.player decisions.
Yep, it's fine.
So we'll kick it off anyway.
Let's see. So that's the YAML that I don't want to show. This is what I do want to show. Go to main.
It'll create a new image for you as well.
It's fine. Right. There we go. Now, let's see here. So we've got the IAC, we got our template.bicep, our template.json as well.
Yeah, that's the one I did because I did an AZ bicep build
And
and it generated it, and I forgot to say.
you committed it to main. Oh man.
I know. Very annoying.
Right. I'm gonna just start my terminal stuff over here. So code. Nope. Where am I? Dev.
I do appreciate the fact that we're both flying in the face of fashion and using a light theme on Visual Studio VS Code. I approve of that.
Absolutely. Clear decisions. I see. If you deploy, group create. Now, first I need to create a new resource group.
It's deployment group, that's what it creates as well.
Oh no, I'm just thinking of actually creating a resource group first.
Yeah, just resource group.
Yeah.
Oh, you've gone again. Whilst he disappears.
Still as fun, and we've created a new image. So that should be back in. Find it. Where's it gone? So, no decisions. That should have generated a smooth version there off the back of that build. Yep, here we go. You disappeared again.
I know. I'm back.
And we thought it was going to be we thought it was going to be my network that's going to be a problem. No?
Yeah, it's something about browser combined with the service just does not like it. But for another day. Right. Template file, template.bicep. Deploy is deployment.
Yep.
I always make that mistake. Right, and now I need my password. And because I had to refresh, I don't have... Could you send me that back in the chat, please?
Yep. I can find it. Where have I got it now? Oh yeah, because I've got the thing open. Can't see the chat when things open. So you will want 1.
That's exactly what I want. Thank you. Oh. Pre-flight validation. Yeah, because
it doesn't paste nicely.
I need a new... No, I need a new prefix.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
You've stolen my storage account.
See, this is why I said I was going to put that unique string on the end.
That's fair. I will take that. Right,
there's method in my madness.
There is. I will take that. Right. Let's see then. So... am I in a different... What subscription am I in? Oh, I know what subscription I'm in. Bear with. Bear with.
The same problem I was.
Yeah. Not quite deploying where I wanted to deploy. Look out. Look in. Do that. Back to terminal. Do that. Log in. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna look in there. That one. And now, for my gazillionth time trick, I'm just going to call it Chris Tut instead.
As a parameter.
Pass what as a parameter?
The prefix. It's all I've done is just provided a default on there. You can actually just override it.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's fine for now.
That would do as well, but yeah, you might check it in that way.
What, like a template.json file?
Don't start.
Right, let's see. Give that a go. And the password I want is that. And now we wait. Now it appears in the. It's great when you actually deploy something to the right subscription. It actually appears. So pro tip that. Yeah.
It'll happen. Yeah. This is very much a Microsoft problem, I think.
Yeah. Too many tenants, too many places you're accessing, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Right. Looks like it's running, which is good. So we've got logs. We had logs. We've got logs. Got a storage account. Environment's getting created there as well. Nice. So there's our environment. If we look at Dapper components, that's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be there imminently. So there's our storage account. And it looks like the Dapper component has been created now as well. So let's go check that out. Yep. Seems like there's an issue just with that.
Yeah, and I've tried it in the the live version of the portal.
Yeah.
And it's failing there as well.
I wonder if it is our config then.
Oh, he's gone again. So I'm just going to have a quick look to see whether or not we had any issues that were pending for the table storage. Just quickly check that off screen. Nope, doesn't look like it. There's nothing showing up in there. No. Service data telemetry. No. Oh, he's very much gone this time. Some changes. Well, that's a mystery. Let's have a look at if we can get any more information from our log. Management. Decisions. Logs. Revision. So what we're seeing is constantly cycling, loading up, then fading again. Back in.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay just to get back in that time.
Yeah, I noticed.
I had another browser ready to go and everything. Yeah, so I'm seeing the exact same. And something I was just thinking is I was going to try take a look at some other, not that one, some other container apps that I got running, just to look at their Dapper configurations. Because you will see
that's got uppercase, isn't it?
Exactly.
Mm.
So I don't think it's that.
Okay, have you got your? You know, you did that. Actually, can you do an export? I suppose you might have to do that off screen. An export of the Dapper configuration for one of your environments that's already configured.
I'm not convinced it will do anything useful. I can try.
Curious as to whether or not we've got something.
Yeah. Export template. Yeah, it won't give much useful, to be honest.
Does the Dapper configuration non-existent then?
It's in there. But you'll see it won't give the passwords and things out, which is reassuring.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of what we've configured and what we've got, it's very, very much the same.
So you got name. Yeah. There's nothing. There's state.azure.blob storage, account key, container name.
Again. So I'm just gonna try take a look at the decompiling again.
And we're sure we're pointing at one called player decisions. Yeah, player decisions, and that needs to map that value in our infrastructure's code. There, table name is definitely that. Account name is that.
Okay, right, I'm back again. It says to try me today. Let's see. I was going to do something. I was going to decompile. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been through my comparing it to one I've got for blob storage, and it's all the same. The only difference I've got is I haven't got a binding on there. One. The variation I've got, I don't think it would make any difference.
Export it. Where is that? There we go. Let's try that.
You bringing your screen up?
Yes. Sorry, I did do that about 2 minutes ago, but then it crashed on me again. I forgot that. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
So you've got scopes on there, which is interesting.
We could give that a go.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised though.
Where do I define my scope?
So if you go below
I can
meta,
do that, can't I? So I can go on somewhere like it's about there, isn't it?
exactly, that's it. That's it.
And that would then be player decisions. That's my
Exactly.
scope there. And do I need to tell my container app that that's the scope it's using?
No, it uses the app ID.
Okay, so as long as the app ID is player decisions as well.
I believe it's the app ID. I'm going to double check that.
That would make sense. That's what it's in the example I've done before. That's what I've done. So
Yeah.
I'm going to deploy that up again.
Doc say name of container apps. Which would be dash player decisions in that case.
So it should be the
container app name is what it says in the docs. Name of the container app.
Ah, now that's interesting because I've got that. My container app is listed as my prefix dash.
Yes. So it should be TUT dash player decisions. Yep. For the scope.
But that's different from my app ID. So I've got an app ID.
No, I was wrong when I said it should be the app ID. It should
Right,
be the.
okay.
Yeah.
So it should be the container app name is the scope.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Don't know where I got app ID from.
Let's try that one then. Of course, the other thing I might need to do is that AZ bicep upgrade. Cutting it draws, but yeah.
All the warnings. I'd be very surprised, but as you say,
those straws aren't going to touch themselves. Okay, that should have done it. Oh, as if by magic.
so is the scope.
Yep. Why is that complaining about app name? See, that's expecting pen, so it is the lower. It's the dapper name at that point.
Let me just look at one of my working configs. Pen platform. Yeah, see. I think that's where I got the app ID from.
So it'll
through
populate
almost.
the app name when it'll pull that through from the container app that is running that
Running
particular
within.
app.
Yeah. But it's interesting that populating scope suddenly made that blade work.
Yeah. Even though it's not a mandatory field.
Yeah.
I can see us raising some issues tomorrow.
Yes. But this is the way we learn, right? By breaking things.
Yeah, absolutely. So that should now be the
Yeah, and there you go.
Right.
So it just auto pulls it through then.
So now,
So that doc
theory,
needs to be updated as well, the ARM template reference. Yeah.
that.
Having said that, will it have redeployed the container? Because I don't think it will.
Funnily enough, we've got a new version.
Let's try it.
So if we go to there, we go into there and grab that build ID. And then if all goes well, that should just deploy up that version now.
I think what this demonstrates is the need to have all that automation in place.
Yeah,
for sure. Just the finer details of things that you need to go and work on and update.
So so this is where the canary stuff comes in really nice. Is that I would have changed that build number, and what would normally have happened is it would have deployed up the new one, drained all the connections off the old one, and then removed them over to the new one.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Could be something we implement as part of this in the future.
Yep.
Because you could go really clever and have like the 10%, 20%, 30% gradual phase over.
Yeah.
Polling the endpoint or something.
That says status active.
Oh, that's exciting. So if you refresh at the top. Oh.
Not quite yet.
That don't look very active. But again, new image being pulled down from GitHub.
Yeah.
Content registry. So
what we should find as soon as that's done is I should be able to do a GET request to that eventually, shouldn't I?
But
whatever that
yes, you should.
Is as soon as it's there.
It really does take a while, doesn't it?
Copy that address.
I thought I used a fairly optimized image.
Yeah, it's taking its time, isn't it? Unless it's stuck in that crash loop again, but
Possible.
come on. We should have the logs. I bet they've not come in yet.
So if you go to the containers option on the left hand side, because we should be,
containers?
yeah. Okay, and if you go back to the overview, you should have a link, I believe, to the.
That one?
There you go. Yeah, if you click on that, and just go to decisions. Is it responding?
Difficult to tell. I would say
That looks like a no.
no. Oh, then maybe. Hang on, there was something happening there. It's loading. No, it's failed again.
So there were 2 tables in the log analytics workspace. Let's look at the other one as well.
The app system logs.
Yeah. Failed player decisions container creating.
That's the one I want, isn't it?
Error provisioning revision on the right hand side. Oh.
Error provisioning revision.
Great. That's informative.
Successfully provisioned revision. And then error provisioning revision. What have we got? There's logs. There we go. You know, it says listening and serving on HTTP. Shutting down all components. Placement table updated. Application discovered on port 8080. The certificate in place.
Just scroll up a sec. Sorry, HTTP servers running on 5500. Yeah. Did we have to configure that anywhere? On what port the sidecar is listing on?
Not that I remember.
No, not me. Just looking through some of my configs here.
No, it's definitely failing. I think we may need to park this one until next time.
I agree. I agree. Let's just have a look at metrics a minute, just in case there's anything strange coming in the metrics before we...
On the container app?
Yeah. And just look at replicas.
Replica count. Yeah, 2 replicas.
Yeah.
No, there isn't a lot else.
Unless the restart's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite you.
I'm assuming log stream still shows us nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just amazed there's nothing coming up in the logs. The only thing I can think of is, do we
have any dedicated logs for the environment itself? This is going to be something really stupid, isn't it?
It is.
Value player decisions, value storage, scope to that. It's the right component. Got the right version on. No, I'm baffled.
Yeah, I'm lost too. I think we call it there for now.
Just one last check.
There's no table.
It should create it itself, shouldn't it? No, it's created it. So something's created it. What I'm wondering is whether or not there's any firewalls in place by default on. No, enabled from all networks.
But that makes no sense. The only thing I can think of now is, does it still run locally?
Yeah.
Like if we pass the exact same config and try and run it locally, does it work? As in the same Dapper config that we're running in container apps. Because obviously the Dapper config is fine. It implies there's something wrong with the app.
It's not the same Dapper config though, is it? Because it's a bicep Dapper within bicep.
But if we passed in the same properties and the same kind of config from that sense.
Yeah. Do you want to give that a go?
Yeah, let's do it. We're this far down the rabbit hole. One last ditch.
Yep.
Let's see. So, what do I need to do?
You can switch over to your screen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think a sec what I need to get set up before I do that. Player decisions. And then if I just copy that one, call that player decisions old, and then the account name is called TUT storage. Could you pass me over the account key in the chat so kindly?
Certainly can. I shall move that off my screen just there.
Excellent idea, if I say so.
Because who would be so stupid as to do
Not current as.
Not
past
today.
us,
Anyway.
maybe.
There you go.
Thanking you. And so if I paste that one in there, minimize that, and then bring this back up like that. Close those bicep files, right? So terminal. So we want to go into source spacebar. Player decisions. And in here we want to run Dapper. What even was the command for this one? This is what we need to do, is put readmes in each of these folders.
Dapper run go. Yeah, that's right.
ID player decisions.
Go run, isn't it? Yeah. That shouldn't work.
Oh, it is hanging, actually. It is hanging. Failed to... Right. Failed to edit output bindings. MSI not available. Oh, this is my service bus queues having issues here. Why?
Have you got some global state somewhere?
Yeah. Bear with. I'm just gonna move them. If I could find the stream right to that sec. And everything player decisions. Right. And we bring this back. And we do a... Oh, come on, Dapper. Right. You're up and running, okay. If you say so.
So if you now do a get on the decisions...
Well, first I'm gonna...
Well, that seems alright. If I double check in storage browser, I should see that entry. Yep, I've got your record in there.
Yep, it's fine. Wait.
Wow.
Who put John in there? And Bob? Was that us? Does our app do that?
I can't remember. Let me have a look what we've got there. No, there's only one entry in that table. For Margaret.
Not what I'm seeing.
So what are you pointing at?
I'd love to be able to tell you, but I can't. I'm pointing at the storage count with the key you gave me.
Yeah, no, that's the right key.
Oh, we did initialize it, didn't we, actually? With some data in the player decisions. Yeah. It was a get decision by ID that I needed. So if I get decision by ID,
yeah,
that.
Hang on a minute, go back. Is that actually using?
Because all it's returning is these.
You know, the only thing we've actually implemented for Dapper is the post.
The post.
We haven't done the get. The get is still hard coded.
That's fine. But we proved that it's posting
right
anyway. Because
yeah.
So this is bizarre because Dapper itself in container apps created what we needed.
So it created
the table.
Dapper stuff must be working.
So the logic then is the app isn't working, but clearly the app is working.
Yep.
So it's either the app as a container is a problem.
Yep.
Or, which could be, in theory, could be the problem, because if we've not exposed the right port somewhere along the way or something, it could be a challenge. Or there's something between the sidecar and the container not working.
Yep.
But I think that's potentially a future problem.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with it. So
no, it'll be one of those things that we step away and think, oh, what about this thing?
Yeah.
As is normally the way with these things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an interesting exploration, though. And actually, the thing that I thought was going to be the biggest challenge tonight turned out not to be the biggest challenge tonight.
Yeah, that was really simple.
Yeah, authenticating to get her packages, really easy.
Yeah. But we've established a few things along the way, like the importance of using that Dapper app ID. There's definitely something that needs to be updated in those ARM template docs around the container app versus the app ID.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there were quite a few things that fell out of that actually.
And I think there's also that discussion then feeds into
scopes. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of the pipelines actually, the GitHub in terms of how you structure up. Because in an ideal world, you would want a new revision to be deployed to GitHub packages, and then that deployed as a new revision in a container app each time, which then gives you your isolation of your Git container app is purely the pure thing that you deploy each time.
Yep. All fun things to think about.
Yeah. Good fun,
good fun. Yes, good fun. Always learning. Yes, let's definitely spin down that stuff though, because if it is whirring away and creating logs in the background, we'll want to.
Expensive.
So we want to minimize on that. But no, good fun. 2 weeks time, I think we're good.
Yep, should be.
Yes, 2 weeks time, we're good. We'll uncover all the issues then.
Yes. I'm sure there will be some digging that goes on.
Oh, of course. Thank you, sir. Pleasure as always, and see you in 2 weeks.
Take care of yourself. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.